Great! YouTube channel, then we're relaxed.
So, are you saying they lie on television?
Oh, sure. And starting from 2014, if we're being honest, it got worse.
We already have everything. Drones flying, tomahawks, missiles. We have it all already.
In fact, we are not fighting with Ukraine, we are fighting with NATO. And this was known from the first day.
Everything that does not align with the official party line, let's call it that, is unpopular with us.
We see the influence of this jingoism here and now, but we do not see the costs that may affect us in 5 to 10 years.
We need to pray for all this to end quickly.
Hope, believe, dream of peace.
Nothing is eternal.
I have just one question. What platform are you filming for?
For a YouTube channel.
Great! YouTube channel, then we're relaxed.
I think reasonable people understand everything. Those who watch YouTube are usually sensible people. How will this affect us? I think it's pretty clear. And so, in some areas, they are already not allowing gasoline in canisters. Let's see what happens next. We do understand that we are people and we are responsible for how we live our lives.
And every Russian is, to some extent, responsible for what is happening in the world.
Have you heard anything about the new sanctions against Rosneft and Lukoil?
No.
Well, in general, sanctions were imposed against Rosneft and Lukoil in the 4th year of the war.
So?
What do you think about this in general? Will it affect the economy in any way?
Well, this is already affecting the economy. Then gasoline prices are rising now and further. Moreover, it is only getting more expensive within the country. Outside the country, oil is getting cheaper. This impacts the country's income.
So, in general, do you notice the energy crisis affecting you?
Not personally yet, only from the news.
Well, you say it's getting more expensive. Or do you not have a car?
I don't have a car. I rarely use public transportation.
So, mostly on foot?
Yes. And I work from home.
Sanctions against Rosneft and Lukoil. Do you think they will affect the lives of Russians in any way?
Of course.
How will they affect?
I think this will affect negatively.
Well, in what way? There specifically, maybe something.
If they are against Russia, then they will be at a disadvantage.
Yeah, makes total sense. Trump threatens to supply Ukraine with Tomahawk missiles. Do you think this will affect the front line in any way, or will he not supply them?
It's stupid on his part.
Why is it stupid?
Our guys will shoot them down anyway.
But the Americans say unstoppable missiles.
Well, that's foolishness. Nothing is eternal.
They are right to blow up our pipelines, let them blow up the Turkish stream too. Otherwise, it turns out that for our money, for cheap gas for Germany, it invests this money into its economy, and in the end it still goes to Ukraine, and not only there, other countries too in the same way.
So, are you saying they lie on television?
Yes, of course. And starting from 2014, if we're going to say it like that, it got worse.
Don't you associate this with the fact that our relations with the world are worsening and there are sanctions and everything else? Maybe it would be better to engage in diplomacy?
It's already late to do it now. Back in 2014, when everyone started imposing those sanctions, everything got worse for us.
Some people say, as we survey people, they say on the contrary, it's worse in Europe because of this. Sanctions only make things better for us.
No, I think that Russia will suffer from this. They will close the borders, something else will happen.
Do you think they will close the borders because of the sanctions?
Yes, they will impose sanctions, introduce some new rules, and Russia will suffer.
Trump wants to send Tomahawks to Ukraine. Do you think this is dangerous for us?
I think everything is already dangerous for us. We already have everything, drones flying, tomahawks and missiles. We have everything already.
I think it will still be a certain blow to the economy. Even what is happening now, we see that VAT will be raised. Some new taxes are being tried to be introduced every time. Well, really, what else is left to do in such conditions? Hope, believe.
Dream of peace. I think everyone would like all this to end well, right? Maybe just to end.
It seems to me that not everyone fully understands what we actually want right now, what specific goals we are pursuing in this operation.
And what are these goals anyway?
I don't know. Right now, I honestly don't quite understand. At first, I understood that we wanted to protect our people. People who suffer there, LPR, DPR. We came to deal with the offenders of our guys.
It was clear we wanted to reclaim some historical territories that have always been ours originally. That was clear. Now it's not very clear. Now it looks like some kind of strategy to wear down the opponents.
Trench warfare.
But what is the clear goal? It's as if now it's not very clear whether we really want these lands.
The United States has imposed new sanctions against Lukoil and Rosneft, the Russian oil companies. Do you think these sanctions will affect the lives of Russian people?
To some extent, I think it will have an impact. It will have an impact, but they won't have it easy either. Something will affect them too. Oil is ours. We sell, we have money, but we still need more money. There is a war, and it won't go away. Either it would have started, or in 10 years it would have started anyway. They would never leave us alone. You have to study history, and according to history, as long as Russia and the West exist, there are wars. No matter how much good Russia does for them, they still...
And since which century have we been at war with the West?
Since the beginning of Russia's formation.
In which century is that?
15th, 16th century.
And from that moment, have we been at war with them?
Yes.
I see. And so far this conflict, is it still the same one continuing?
Yes, they need to smash Russia so it doesn't exist. Well, God willing, maybe Russia will hold up. As for the sanctions, yes, they will still affect us to some extent.
And what do you think, for example? Well, if you mentioned history during the Napoleonic Wars, half of Europe fought for Napoleon, the party captured, and half fought against. That is, for example, Spain. Yes, it was difficult to say.
Well, I don't know the history exactly. I don't know the history well. I can't tell you.
What I'm getting at is just an example, an illustration. Why do you think there are also mixed sentiments in Europe? I mean, you say it's always against Russia, and I'm asking, why do they also have different views? What do you think?
I can't answer you.
So you think that overall it is homogeneous and always against Russia?
Yes, sometimes it seems like everything is going with Russia, then bam, and again without it's like a wheel spinning. Where will it turn? Will the power change there or something else? I can't say.
Well, besides Europe, we also have America. And the American President Trump stated that he would supply Tomahawks to Ukraine. So it's not certain yet, but there are some moves in that direction. Do you think he will supply this weapon, and will it affect the course of actions?
They are all crazy there. They are placing them. How did they say it? They placed tanks, gave planes, gave everything. We are fighting, and we are actually not fighting with Ukraine. We are fighting with NATO. And from the very first day it was known, but not everyone understood it. Ukraine did not understand. It thinks if it sides with the West, it will have bacon and butter. But it turned out differently. No bacon, no butter.
So why do you think Donald Trump made attempts to negotiate back then? He organized talks, wanted a meeting with Trump, Zelensky and Putin, so he wanted to move in that direction. Why has his rhetoric changed now? And is it somehow related to Russian actions?
No, they pressure him like that. I understand it this way. He is impulsive. Today he says one thing, tomorrow he says another, and he spins around and can't decide. He should say it like our Putin. He said it and doesn't go back on his words. But today he says he will impose sanctions, tomorrow he cancels them. And America and the West, they still do not like Russia. To them, Russia is like a thorn in the throat.
And why is that happening?
Because we have natural resources, we have territory, and they have nothing. They don't need the people, they need these resources. And that's why everything is happening this way.
So, because of the wealth?
Yes, for Russia's natural resources.
And what do you think? Where is the standard of living better? In Europe or in Russia?
Well, I haven't lived in Europe. I can say I have lived all my life in Russia, and I know I get a pension, whether it's enough or not. But I'm not sitting hungry. I buy what I need.
Any sanctions will affect the economy, they still have an impact. They cannot not have an impact. But let's just say it's a double-edged sword. And who will suffer more from this? Well, that's a debatable question. I think that more than Europe, America will actually suffer more. Will Russian gas face problems entering the market? Prices will jump, global prices will jump. And if Europe, they were already deep, well, in the place where they are, then for America it hasn't affected them yet, but now it will affect them if the prices on the exchange, on the market change.
Don't you think that they, on the contrary, will occupy these markets? That is, sell gas to Europe?
For this, it will take, 50 years, excuse me, it will be a different government, and possibly by that time it might not even be necessary. This can't be done in the blink of an eye.
And another important topic is Tomahawks. Trump is threatening to supply Tomahawks to Ukraine. What do you think?
He's not threatening. That's not quite correct. He doesn't say that. He says, I will think about it. But that's Trump.
Literally a quote here, he said, in my conversation with Putin, the last phone call, I told him, okay, Vladimir, I will place Tomahawks in Ukraine. Do you like that? It sounds like a threat, agree?
Well, does it sound like a threat that we've made agreements with Cuba, and the fact that he wants too much, Trump? I mean, something could arise right next to him in Venezuela now. We can also start supplying weapons to Venezuela. That will cause him much more problems if that fleet he has now sent to the shores of Venezuela, suddenly Venezuela accidentally has anti-ship warfare weapons, and then suddenly they might accidentally sink.
The experience was considerable, and the sanctions didn't really affect us much. So why should anything change now? We should pray for this to end soon.
What exactly? What are you talking about? About the special military operation, or about...
Well, about everything. About people being healthy.
What do you think? Well, you say praying, that's understandable, but what can be done to ensure this ends with some kind of actions?
Well, first of all, not to quarrel. To live in harmony. That's the most important thing. For everyone.
And to politicians as well.
Well, and behave honestly, with conscience. That's the most important thing we can do. If with conscience, then life itself relies only on conscience. Even love is not as important as conscience.
I think it's best to live in Russia and nowhere else. We have the most wonderful country. Well, there you go.
What do you love about our country?
This is my homeland. What is there to talk about?
No, wait, can I ask you a couple of questions?
No more is needed.
To some extent, the sanctions will have an impact, but not fundamentally. Not fundamentally.
Why do you think so?
Well, we have a stable economy, of course, not at the pace we would like, but still, it is developing.
Besides sanctions, yes, there are also some armed threats, so to speak. Trump claims he will place Tomahawks in Ukraine. Do you think this is a realistic scenario?
Trump will not supply Ukraine. He will act through second countries, or rather third countries. They will supply to Europe, and Europe will decide on its own. Well, probably they will supply some part, but America will not supply directly.
But what do you think? If they somehow end up in Ukraine, will it affect the course of the front or not?
They won't affect the front line, but partially, of course, they will annoy somewhere, well, deeper into Russia, yes, but the situation won't change drastically.
When you ask such questions, you know how the situation stands, and there can be different opinions, including very unpopular ones. Well, so what? Of course, everything will have an impact. Naturally, nothing goes without a trace.
Do you think this is an unpopular opinion?
Everything that does not align with the official party line, let's call it that, is unpopular. So, and recently, who was it? What did Vladimir Vladimirovich say? Well, there was kind of a double interpretation, right? Like whether it's significant or not significant. Yeah, it's unclear. I mean, on one hand, it's certainly significant, but on the other hand, it's unclear. I might tell you the same thing, but naturally, all of this will eventually turn into something.
Do you think that, in general, for such words against the party line, one could be held accountable?
It is not what I think. It's a fact. So, as they say, you can write whatever you want, but be careful.
Do you think this is the right strategy for societal development? When does this happen?
How?
Well, when, roughly speaking, they keep their true opinions silent.
Correct from the point of view of what?
From the standpoint of building a state, that is, in terms of the success of the state itself and the people in it.
It depends on what is considered the success of a state. Quality of life for the population? Certainly not.
What other criteria could there be?
Different. Depends on the perspective you are looking from.
From what perspective are you looking at this?
Well, probably the same as you guys.
I think the sanctions will mostly affect people who work in the industry, maybe, and they might influence fuel prices within the country. Because, for example, well, if our companies cannot, sell fuel abroad, they will have to sell it here. And accordingly, this might somehow affect prices for the domestic, so to speak, consumer. We live in a global world. Any sanctions affect us. We pay for any sanctions indirectly. We just don't see it. It happens gradually.
And what can be done then to remove them, for example, to somehow negotiate?
Well, it's negotiations. In any case, it's negotiations with sort of the leaders of other countries, those who impose sanctions.
Do you think these conversations need to be initiated?
Well, of course, undoubtedly. We live in a global world. We are part of a big world. We are a European country. We need to interact with other countries. We interact with Asian countries. We trade with them. Is there a benefit from this? There is a benefit. Accordingly, the European market is also a big market. We have something to offer them and they have something to offer us, undoubtedly.
Well, yes, it's more advantageous to develop
trade. Yes.
Why do you think our country chooses a slightly different path than...
Well, I think it possibly serves the interests of a certain electorate. That is, some minority might find it interesting. Maybe someone doesn't see the negative long-term effect, right? So we see the influence of this jingoism here and now, but we do not see the costs that may affect us in 5 or 10 years. That's it. I mean, yes, it's cool there. Here now we are getting something, but we are losing a lot, losing in some economic benefits later.
Today, one of the respondents we interviewed said that the United Kingdom should be destroyed with nuclear weapons. What do you think should be done to change the minds of such people? And is it necessary to change their minds?
Well, I might express myself harshly, but there is still some portion of crazy people in our society, and fortunately, for example, we can choose, we can, soberly evaluate our leaders, right?
And but I think to some extent we need to interact with our loved ones and those around us and convey to them some, humanistic values, I would say. So we must and are obliged to convey some humanistic values to people, because only in peace will we all thrive as a species.